Good afternoon, class, and welcome to your virtual course. My name is Dr. Araipo, and you can call me Dr. A. I sent you several emails regarding the course, and here's the homepage of Canvas. I hope you've had a chance to explore that. And the way I've set it up is very simple. You just follow the numbers. Number one, it's a short video welcoming you to the course. I'm very happy to have you here. And I'm sure we will have a wonderful semester and we will learn from one another. The second one, class philosophy and course objective and instructor's info. I'm going to quickly put this on for you. So
Class philosophy.
go ahead.
This class is a community and therefore, we all have the same objective, to learn. Online students often feel isolated, but it is vitally important to know you are not in this alone. I would like each of you to approach our online class with a great attitude and a willingness to help one another. Many problems and questions can be resolved by asking a fellow student. I am always here to help you, but I truly believe your experience will be more fruitful if you communicate with your fellow students as well. Let us work together to make this a memorable semester for each and every one of us. Course objectives. The objectives of our statistics course are about the use of probability techniques, hypothesis testing, and predictive techniques to facilitate decision making. Topics include descriptive statistics, probability and sampling distributions, statistical inference, correlation and linear regression, analysis of variance, chi-square and t-tests, and application of technology for statistical analysis including the interpretation of the relevance of the statistical phi.
And other applications, by the way, it's not chi-square, it's chi-square. And of course, this is my email address. I will answer it maximum within 24 hours. From Monday through Friday, I'm going back to the homepage of the Canvas. And the next one is number 3, the announcements. I'm going to put that in student mode, student view, and notice we have a few announcements. I hope you've had a chance to look at them. The recorded orientation, we have an old one and the new one will be added today. Welcome and orientation, exemption to orientation. Some students have already started with my open math. And then there were a few emails that are the same. This is a couple of weeks ago. This is last week, and this is a couple of days ago, letting you know about the orientation. So what happens next is asking for question number 4. So 1, 2, 3, number 4. Now, what do you find under number 4? Syllabus, modules, homework, practice test, discussion forum. This is optional. And this is the office hours. The office hours is posted here as well as the syllabus. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to start with the syllabus. And I'm going to start with the calendar. Normally, calendar is embedded within the syllabus, but I thought it was important to separate them so you won't ever miss that. So basically, it tells us when the exams are due and what we should do to be at top of the game. And the very first exam is coming up in 3 weeks. I have set up every exam to be due on Saturdays. So when you're relaxed, you can take them. And it expires at 11:59 p.m. You want to give it at least a couple of hours before that. So these are the exam dates. And if you are following this calendar, you'll be fine. The very first assignment is coming up in a couple of days. I expect that to be done immediately. It's the introduction to my open math, the digital platform we use. I am referring to it as MOM. So if I go back to the home page again, so the first one was the syllabus. I can click on it here or here again. And now I'm going to go over the syllabus with more details. Now, first, welcoming you to the course. Then I put the topics here because, as you know, the syllabi are getting larger and more extensive. So if you are interested in a specific topic, you can look at it. So it's the course name, student learning outcome, course objective. you can always go back to that. As far as the text is concerned, it's free and it's online. And I'll show you how to find that right here or when we go to my open math. The online assignment, the digital platform we use is called My Open Math, and I'm going to refer to it as MOM for short. Um, Exams, as I mentioned, all of them take place on Saturdays. They expire at 11:59, but you don't want to do that later than 8 or 9 because you want to be relaxed and you want to give it enough time. By the way, from the time you receive the email / announcement regarding the exam, which gives you all the information like the number of questions and time and the password, you can take it anytime you want. You don't have to take it on Saturday. You can take it before that. The day before that, I have some sort of a Q&A or exam review. Remember, I have all the exam reviews and practice tests recorded and posted for you. There will be no proctorio. I'm assuming we are all here to learn. We are all adults and we don't need a proctorio. Also, pay attention to this. Attending review sessions is highly recommended to succeed in this course. However, all exam reviews are recorded and posted under the recorded practice test lecture tab in Canvas. I will be available during the designated exam review session to answer any questions. So on those Fridays, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask me besides the office hours that we have on a weekly basis. Important dates, calculator, table formula sheets. You can use any calculator, a graphing calculator such as TI is highly recommended. And also there are some graphing calculators online. I will explain them to you. You can get them for free. Tables and formula sheets, you can use them during the exam. Here's the information about the tech support for my open math, for Canvas, for our campus. Here's the information about Math Success Center, the tutoring center, if you will. There are other helpful websites, and this is probably the most important thing to everybody, the grading policy. Online homework, 200 points. Participation, discussion board, 100 points. 4 tests, each one is 100 points. And test number 4 is worth, and the final test is worth 300 points. Total of 1,000 points. Now, couple of things. Number one, getting the online completely done is very easy to get 100% simply because when you take the homework, I haven't, put a limit as far as how many times you can do it and how much time you have. As long as it's done before the due date, you can have it done. The discussion forum should be easy to get. Each one is 20 points. There are 5 of them. And the final, although it's comprehensive, is based on the previous exams mainly, or about 70% of the questions come from the previous exam, so should have an easy time. This is a point system, 90% or above, that means 900 and more gives you an A. 80% and above, 800 or more gives you a B. 70%, that means 700 points or more, gives you a C, so on and so forth. There is no makeup policy. And if you have a proper documentation, I might give you the makeup. But remember, from the moment you receive the email until Saturday, you have all the time in the world to take the exam. Also, your lowest grade before the final may be replaced by the final. As long as the final is good, that means 80% or higher. And the discussion board, as well as your homework is good, that means 90% or higher. And this action will result in a higher letter grade. Course late work. You really don't want to use a late pass. We do have some late passes for the assignments, but normally students who do that, they get behind and it's hard for them to catch up. There is no late pass for the discussion forum. Also, this is interesting. CSULB 36, study 36. And it says we need minimum of 3 times the number of unit hours per week for a 16-week semester to be successful. So this one, 3 times 4, we need 12 hours per week to do well in this course. Dropping policy, basically I follow the withdrawal policy by the campus. And that means if you miss the orientation, you don't start with my open math, and if you miss any of the assignments, including the first or second exam, you will be dropped from the course as soon as you miss one of those. Other informations, DSPS and financial aid. Summary steps to success is simply study the PowerPoints, do your homework. There are some videos embedded within the homework. Study practice tests and solutions. Post questions in discussion forum. Send your question via Canvas inbox and attend the review session. Take the exam. Office hours are not only posted here, also on the homepage of Canvas. There are more information, basic needs, justice scholars, and so forth. Netiquette for online learning, just the bottom line is we want to be respectful of one another. We want to act like a professional and be courteous to each other. Also, this is a college course. Obviously, we got to use correct spelling and grammar. And again, with a positive tone and being respectful. That's really the bottom line as far as the netiquette for online is concerned. Going back to the home page of Canvas. The next one is modules. You can click on it here or again on the left navigation bar, find modules. If you click on it, what do you find? Number one, at the very top, this is where you go to your digital platform, My Open Math. So you use your username and password to get in there. If you don't have an account, what do? You create one. Make up a username, password, so on and so forth. Okay? So this is where you get started with My Open Math. The very first top module is about My Open Math. Let me change from the student view. The next one is exam 1 module, and I'm going to explain that in a moment. Exam 2 module, similar to that, I will tell you what you find there. But as you go down, you have 5 modules, okay? They're all similar, and module 5 is part of the final. Then the last one, I have added some resources. What do we have here? Formulas. You can use these formulas while you're taking the exam. And I've tried to separate them by chapters or exams, okay? So you know what to do. We have tables. In statistics, we use a lot of tables. For example, the Z table or the Z score table, T table, chi-square table, things like that. And there is one more thing you can find here. These are TI-83 calculator commands. And also over here, class, there are many different calculators here, okay? I will also show you those in my Open Math. These are online, these are free resources class. As far as TI calculator is concerned, if you go to this website, these two, and watch the video, you may be able to get an emulator that looks like this. Again, it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, okay? And you can download it and have it on your computer. Going back to the modules. So the last one is a bunch of resources. The first one is where you go to My Open Math. What is here? I start with the practice test. Then those are the PowerPoints per chapter, and this is the solution to the practice test. So I start with the practice test. I want to show you something, everybody. If I were you, I would either download or print this and spend 5 minutes to read it. Why is that? Because it gives you the synopsis of what you need for the first module, and that sort of shows you what you need to learn for the first module. So I think it's a fantastic idea that you spend a few minutes reading the whole thing. Then what happens? Then the PowerPoints start. For example, if you click on this one, that's chapter 1. And chapter 1 has a few sections. If you click on this, this is the first section. What I want you to notice, if you download and put this in slide mode, when you go through the lecture, it's not going to be the whole page, but rather paragraph by paragraph or line by line, and especially when you come across an example. If you're working on this example, it doesn't show you the answer. It shows you the example. Again, you're in a slide mode. Then you go down to the next step and the next step and the next step. So a step-by-step solution rather than seeing the whole page, okay? You have to download and put it in slide mode. If you go back, then you can go to the next section and the next section. So that's where you find the PowerPoint. So what happens as you go through those PowerPoints, you notice this is chapter 1, 2, 3. You notice you can answer some of these questions and you start answering them. So how do you answer them? You answer 1 or 2 questions per day. That's all you have to do. By the time you get to the end, close to the exam time, you're practically done. Not only that, so we have the practice test, PowerPoints. The last one is detailed solution to that practice test. So over here, we have the practice test. The last one is the solution to practice test. Okay, so you have everything at your fingertip. Again, practice test, solution to practice test. Look at the left navigation bar, recorded practice test. I have, if you look at this one, this is the newest one. I have the detailed solution in the form of a PowerPoint. So not only we have the practice test, we have the solution to the practice test, and I've also recorded the detailed solution. So everything you want is there, but you have to spend the time to go over that. Okay, class? I can't emphasize this enough. And the previous recordings are also here. Okay, so going back to the modules, the top one takes you to my open map, and the next one is what you're concerned with, has everything for exam one. Going back to the home page, what do we see afterwards? We see the discussion forum. You can click on the discussion forum here, or on the left navigation bar, the discussion forum here. So what do you find there? Number one, student bios. I put mine as a sample, and if you reply, you can put yours. I highly recommend you put yours, and I highly recommend you read everybody's. And if you want to, put a comment, make sure it's a positive comment for your fellow student. The next one is a frequently asked question. In the past, students had questions. I compiled them here. For example, how do I use the math editor when you want to do the discussion forum and write questions? I explain how you do that. Do I need a course ID? Because sometimes for my open math you do, but not here. You don't need it because it's through Canvas. Tech support, access to expired homework. A lot of things are here. Also, this question, which is really surprising to me, where do I find the exam password? As I mentioned, you will receive an email / announcement regarding the exam that has everything, including the password. But if you miss that for any reason, you can go under the announcements and look that up. So that's the discussion forum that are available to you. Now, module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the 5 that are graded. So let's look at the first one. As long as you do one of them, the rest of them makes perfect sense. So what do we need to do? There are 3 steps. So I'm going to quickly go over that for you.
You are required to post, at least, one question and its solution either from practice test number 1 posted under the modules, or any source of your choice, per grading policy in the syllabus. You must read all the posts and make sure not to duplicate any questions. Similar questions are acceptable. Read all the posts, questions and solutions posted by others first, and pick a different question to post. No duplication is allowed. A question with one-word solution, one-line solution, or definition is not acceptable and results in 0 points for the post. 10 points. Write the question number and copy down the question. Show all steps using the math equation editor or embed an image solution as explained below. Find a similar problem online, or on YouTube, or Khan Academy and post the link. 5 points. Comment on, explain, at least one classmate question that is either solved or is found online and posted by watching it carefully in its entirety. Explain about what the question addressed and what you learned from it and outline a few steps you learned as a result. A compliment is nice but is not a comment. 5 points. Example of a student post, made up example.
So first you have your own question with detailed solution. That gives you 10 points. Then a similar problem from YouTube, for example, that gives you 5 points. And then your comment is 5 points. I want to emphasize the comment, when you give a compliment, you did a great job, I learned a lot. That's not a comment, okay? That's not what I'm looking for. I'm giving you an example. We want to find the mean, median, mode, and so forth. Take a look at the example. It's done with formulas, with details. And when it's done, I picked a similar question from YouTube. And then supposedly I'm commenting on a fellow student and I'm explaining what I learned about the Z-score. So it has to be informative. What I have here, how to embed an image into Canvas, because if you have a PDF file and students have to download it to see it, that's not acceptable. I want, when they open the discussion forum, I want them to be able to see your question. So what do? Either just like me, use the equation editor to write it, and I'm explaining how to use the equation editor or math editor, or embed an image. You can you can write it anywhere you want on a piece of paper, take a picture, and then embed it within the discussion forum. So when you're done with the first one, then you know what to do with the rest of them. The only thing I want to tell you is that make sure on a regular basis you check that so you can see what others have put in there and you can watch their YouTube video. That's really and truly informative. Going back to the homepage of the Canvas, we are done with that. What I want to show you on the left side, there are a couple of things. Number one, this optional thing. This website, Sample Test Solutions, I want you to make a note of it later on, just for one reason and one reason only. If for any reason Canvas is not available, if it's available, you really don't need it. If the Canvas is not available, so for example, for the first one, which is module 1 or test 1, we have the PowerPoints, we have the practice tests, we have the solution to practice tests, we have the videos, we have all kinds of stuff that you can find in Canvas. But again, sometimes something may happen and Canvas may not be available. That's really the only reason. Otherwise, and if you go down, it takes you to different, modules. Otherwise, you don't need that. So that would be the sample test. The other one I want to mention is the Tech Connect Zoom. Again, this is where you can see the orientation and other reviews. The next one is a Math Success Center. Math Success Center takes us to a different canvas. It gives us the information about the timing for this semester, tutoring, and look at this free calculator loan program. They have limited number of calculators you may be able to get from them if need be. And so you're going to follow the instruction. You have Net Tutor. This is the tutoring center, which is available to students for free, I believe 24 hours a day. Free walk-up tutoring. And over here for stats, we have the stats tutoring signups. So there's a lot of resources here. And again, you can find this on this left navigation bar called Math Success Center. All right, back to the homepage. So you go to modules, and the first one is my Open Math. So what do? Here's my Open Math, everybody. So you go to your course, and the very first thing is introductory assignment to my Open Math. The purpose of that is to help you learn how to work with my Open Math. And that is due immediately in a couple of days. So that's something that I want everybody to start today. Let me quickly show you. When you click on that, the question shows up. Again, the purpose of this is just to teach you how to deal with my Open Math. First is asking you to put this number. So you put this number. And by the way, notice the moment I put my cursor in the box, it brings up this palette, this math equation editor. So let me put this number just the way it is because they don't want us to do the rounding or anything. This one, they want us to round it to the hundredths place, which is number 3. Next to 3 is 9, so it goes to 4. So that's how you do it. And that's something very important. I've seen students making a mistake with the rounding. In statistics, it's really unacceptable. You should know how to do the rounding properly. So I want to round it to the nearest hundreds. The digit is 3. Next to it is 9. It goes up. Next to it, if it's 5 or higher, it goes up. Can I divide by 0? The answer is no. It's undefined. They don't have the word undefined. They use DNE, stands for does not exist. Notice, if I submit the question, it check marks, and it gives me my points for that one. When I go to the next question, let's just answer it wrong. Is 1/3 0.5? Absolutely not. It's 1.3 bar. But let's answer it that way. And if the moment I click submit question, it shows that I made a mistake. So what do? Do I move on? No. If I get a similar question and it happened to give me the same question, I can gain the points, no problem. And you continue finishing this up. This is how you do your homework in general. Notice something comes up, I can't continue for any reason. Maybe I want to leave and come back. So if I click done, the first question I've done right, and 7.7% has been registered under the grade book of my Open Math phone. If I resume and I do more, then I keep on adding to this point. If I don't, then it becomes my grade after the due date. For now, I'm going to exit, but that's what I meant. You can go back anytime, and it's not timed. As long as you do it before its due date, you can get 4 credit. The next one is exams. You don't have to worry about them now. It happens in a few weeks. But again, I put that at the top, and I will send you the information so you know where to find the exams. This is the description of the course. Calendar. Over here, you can change the number to however many weeks. Notice your first assignment, introductory assignment, is due pretty soon. Here's your exam. And right the day before the exam, all of your homework are due before the exam. Does it mean I have to wait until that day to do my homework? Absolutely not. Right from now, from today and tomorrow, if you will, I start working on my assignments, and all you have to do one section per day. So by the time I get to the week of the exam, I don't have much to do. I'm going to concentrate on my practice test. Now we have module 0, module 1, 2, 3, and so forth. These are just like the Canvas. We work on modules 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is module 0? As the name indicates, resources. Now, here's the text, everybody. Here's the text. And this text has the proper sections that we cover, the same sections that you see in my PowerPoints, the same sections that was discussed. And it is based on this text. The difference is that this text class, you can download the PDF file, view and online. The order may not be just like that, but it's very easy to navigate. And sometimes students, they don't even pay attention to the text because I have given you everything that you need, but in case. So going back to my open math, this is the text based on this one. Then the information about the late pass, grade book, a lot of resources here, instructor resources, multimedia library. Look at this, free online calculators. I believe students shouldn't pay a penny for anything. So we have statistic calculator, Star Trek. I have many, many different calculators. All of them are free. What I suggest, if you need a physical calculator, go get it from the Math Tutoring Center. If not, and if you're going to use one of these, get familiar with that. Explore all of them, see which one is the easiest for you. Multimedia library, those are my resources. Those are more videos. The p-value calculator. Later on, we look at the test of hypothesis, and with that comes the p-value. You can go specifically to the p-value calculator here. It makes life easy. And there are more online calculators, and one of them is Desmond's, and it's a video here that explains how to work with that. Moreover, we have other calculators like online stat calculator, daily schedule calculator, study schedule calculators. So I've put tons and tons and tons of resources for you. Please take a couple of minutes to explore the resources under module 0 of MOM here. If you need any of them, use them. If you don't need them, so be it. For now, we are concerned with only module 1. So when you go to module 1, what happens? You see chapter 1, 2, and 3. So if you open one of them, for example, chapter 1, see 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. If I click on 1.1, it says first watch these videos. These are the videos that take care of 1.1. You can watch mine, or you can watch others that are recommended, or you can watch all of them. In the past, I've had students who just watched those and they were ready to do the homework. Now, this is 1.1. Notice what happens with 1.2 class. Exactly the same thing. Watch those videos in red. My videos, recommended videos, then you have the homework. If you go to the homework, it's exactly like the introductory assignment. You notice, before I move on, this question has videos. So not only you have the question, you also have some videos to help. This one has a video. This one has a video. This one too. This one doesn't. So some of them have videos to help you. So if you go back up here, in the study data, you collect this favorite candy bar, and that's qualitative. And so if you submit the question, you get a check mark. But if you have it wrong, you get a similar question. Again, I'm not going to continue on that thoughts, but I'm going to assume something has come up. I have to leave. If I click on done again, it gives me 5.9% for the first question that I have done. This will be registered in the gradebook of mom. And as soon as I do more, it will add to that. When do I do? Whenever I resume. So I can resume or exit. This is it. So let me quickly recap. Here's the homepage of the Canvas. First, we had the welcome message, then the class philosophy, then the announcements. Then over here, we went over the syllabus, modules, office hours. On the left navigation bar, we have a sample test, which is optional, Tech Connect, Zoom, Math, Success Center, recorded practice test. So under the modules, you can find, here's the very first one. Here's where you register for mom. And for now, we want to be concerned with exam one only, which has a practice test, solution to it, and all the PowerPoints. And at the end, we have the formulas, tables, TI calculator. So this is the home page of mom. That was the home page of Canvas. My apologies. This is the mom. You start with the introductory assignment, course description. Module 0 has tons and tons of resources. You start with module 1 and section 1.1. You watch those videos and then you start the homework. I wish you all best of luck. I'm sure you'll do fine. Happy studying, everybody.